As long as there are consoles, Xbox and PlayStation will always be compared to each other no matter how much both companies say that there is no console war. Although these wars can get out of hand and very toxic, healthy competition is always a good thing. The rivalry between Microsoft and Sony has made both gaming platforms a lot better, and as a result, fans are benefiting the most. We might be moving closer to an all-digital gaming world every day, with Xbox trying to completely eliminate consoles as a whole by announcing their Xbox app that will make it possible for people to game with just an internet connection and a controller. Despite these digital changes, the demand for consoles has never been higher. Sony stated as part of their latest earnings report that they shipped 17.3 million PlayStation 5 consoles. The latest estimate suggests that they sold 17.1 million of those shipped consoles. This is an impressive number for Sony, and makes the PlayStation 5 the second most successful console to date, only behind the PlayStation 4. At the end of 2021, Sony has shipped 3.9 million consoles as part of their third quarter. This number is down from last year when they shipped 4.5 million consoles over the same period. The current pandemic did have an effect on console estimates as well, with Sony reducing their targets from 14.8 million units to 11.5 million. This reduction is not due to low demand, but rather the ongoing chip shortage that has made it impossible for Sony to meet any of their targets. The chief financial officer said, "The ongoing chip shortages and logistics confusion would keep affecting PlayStation 5 production, and especially the second half of the next fiscal year that will be hard to foresee. I want to keep the previously held goal of selling 22.6 million units next year unchanged, as cutting it now would lower the motivation of the team." Within the same period, the PlayStation 4 has sold 20.2 million consoles. This means that the previous generation console is outpacing the PlayStation 5 despite the high demand. Sony has also revealed that their PlayStation Plus service has 48 million subscribers. This is up from last year when they had 47.4 million during the same period. The PlayStation 5 is now the fastest selling console in UK history, but sales are slowing down. To combat this, Sony will increase production of the PlayStation 4 consoles by 1 million units this year. Microsoft, on the other hand, does not report any actual numbers that come from console sales. There is a number of reasons for this decision, the biggest being that Xbox no longer sees themselves as just a console producer, but rather an ecosystem. Due to this, they report on live services and revenue that includes mobile and PC. Xbox might not report on console sales, but that does not mean we cannot figure out how many units they ship. Industry analysts are suggesting that the Xbox Series console sales have now surpassed 12 million units. Microsoft might not report sale figures, but they did release their annual revenue for last year. Xbox revenue soared to $16.3 billion during the previous calendar year, which represents an increase of 17%. Revenue from hardware rose by just over 63% and generated a total of $3.7 billion. This points to a very strong performance for the Xbox console since release. Content and services for Xbox was their biggest earner for 2021. The division went up 8.8% year-on-year and reached $12.6 billion. A large driving force behind this number is the success of Xbox Game Pass that currently have 25 million subscribers. Xbox also had some great success with their first-party releases. Halo Infinite recorded 20 million players, with Forza Horizon 5 not far behind. The industry as a whole is going through many changes as we move away from physical discs over to the digital age. Console sales and hardware services reached $60 billion last year, which is a record high. This growth could have been higher if there was no supply issues for PlayStation and Xbox. It should be noted that game prices and console prices are up. This does contribute to the revenue increase. Spending money on full titles, expansion packs, and in-game items and battle passes went unchanged. Game services has also increased, with Xbox Live Gold, PlayStation Plus, and Nintendo Online accounting for 19% of all spending on games. Box sale numbers are sustained by the success of the Nintendo Switch, but those numbers are expected to fall. Sony is still dominating the market, as they account for 46% of the overall gaming revenue on console. Nintendo makes up 29%, and Microsoft 25%. Xbox is the only platform who increased their market share by 1%. Based on these numbers, one thing is clear: both consoles is doing great.